Yo YouTube, what's up? It's 9 a.m. here on the East Coast in Florida, and it's about a balmy 78 degrees, maybe 80 degrees. So I'm here and I'm doing a workout that consists of form deadlifts. I'm going to be working on really sharpening my form, right? Like going back to the basics. But as we have been doing for the past few weeks, I'm taking questions from you also. Really look forward to doing these Yo Elliott Q&As and kind of like blend them in with our workouts, right? So obviously you guys are following along, playing the game with me, sending your questions in. And I've got one here from Hunter Gooden. He wants to know, Yo Elliott, I've noticed that when I work out with high reps, I'm really sore. It takes a few days for me to recover. But then when I work with heavy weights, I don't get so sore. Why is that? Well, that's a really good question, brother. And I'll continue to elaborate on reasons why you're sore when you're doing high reps and not so sore when you're lifting heavy weights throughout this workout. And towards the end, I'll tie it all up there for you, dude, so you can make a good decision about whether or not you want to go high reps and get sore or you want to train the nervous system patterns with heavy weights. Stick around. So last week, I pulled a PR, like a modern day PR for me, on the deadlift with 600 pounds, and it was ugly. You probably saw the video. It was ugly, I'm shaking all over the place, I had to gear up. So like, did I pull it? Yes. Could it be better? Hell yeah, it could be a lot better. So I'm gonna go back to a lighter weight, and I'm gonna work some more of the eccentric portion of the movement. Remember I was talking about how it's all concentric, which it is, but one of the best ways to strengthen your concentric is to work on the eccentric, the down portion of it. So I'm gonna do that today. So of course last week I worked up to a single, right? What is a single? 1 repetition. Even though it's a maximal effort, it's still 1 repetition, so it's not high reps, right? And so you might be wondering, was Elliott really sore after doing a 1 rep max? Yes and no. I wasn't sore from the stimulation on the muscle, right? Because there's not that much muscle stimulation or time under tension, let me put it that way. There's a lot more nervous system work. The soreness that I had is due to my muscular imbalances. I still am not 100%. My hips are not great, my knees and ankles. So any soreness I had was because of poor mechanics, completely honest with you, but not because of working the muscle. Now today, I'm going significantly lighter, but I may in fact be sore in my legs because there's more time under tension. There's more stress on the muscle. Less on the nervous system, right? The nervous system is like what? It's like the electricity that powers the house. So I'm gonna keep that sort of low, but the time under tension to actually work on the muscle a little bit higher, so this will stimulate more soreness as a result. Modifying my workout today to eliminate hip flexion I think maybe I was sitting a little bit too long this weekend. I didn't get too much stretching done. Just a busy weekend in that regard. And so it's almost like my hips feel like they're stuck in a flex position. So anytime I do kind of like hip flexion exercises, even when I try to do the glute ham raise, it's just cramping on me. So instead of trashing the workout altogether, I work on hip extension exercises, which does what? Reverses the pain that I'm having, the cramps I'm having, and also strengthens me in the hip extended position, which is probably what I'm lacking, which is giving me this problem right now. So this exercise you see me doing here, the reverse Nordic, squeezing the glutes, extending the hips, and then just working my way back, almost doing like a bridge. You ever see like a bridge? When I do a bridge, it's all hip extension. So I'm just gonna work on that today. Oh! I'm stuck! Nope. Can't do it. I can get down there, just can't get back up. It's amazing how much that helps me feel better, right? Like it's like reversing the flexion, right? Because I'm in full extension, and then I have to flex an extension, right? Does that make sense? But tighten the muscles in extension, and then stretch all at once. So it's a challenging exercise, but it's also like healing me at the same time. It's crazy. So today's workout didn't go according to plan. An idea what I wanted to do, but I quickly realized that I needed to back off a little bit. Hips giving me a little bit of problem, like I said, probably too much flexing, too much sitting this weekend. And so I wasn't able to like work it out. So what I did instead was work around it. And so you'll see, you know, it's kind of a different workout for me. Got a little bit of conditioning in there. Maybe I'll take the rest of the week to sort of, you know, follow that pattern. Anyway, I promise to answer your question about soreness with high reps versus not really being so sore when you lift heavy. And so, like I mentioned previously, when you're bodybuilding, right, you want time under tension. And that time under tension leads to the muscle soreness, which leads to sarcoplasmic, is that right? Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, where the muscle fills up, swells up with fluid, and you get that pump, right? That's when you get the pump. You don't get a pump when you go heavy. Like powerlifters don't really get that much of a pump when they PR, but you get quite a pump when you're doing like 10, 15, 25 repetitions with a single joint exercise, or, you know, something like bench press and stuff like that. And it's because it fills with fluid. And I think a part of the reason why all that fluid rushes to the muscle is to sort of help it break up some of the lactic acid, right, that leads to the soreness, if I'm correct, right? But it's that high time under tension that leads to the soreness. And when you're lifting heavy, again, you're not putting the same amount of time on the muscle. It's much more of an explosive movement. So there's not that much pressure. There's a lot. There's a ton of pressure on the muscle, but it's for a short period of time. And most of what's being drawn forth in that instance is the power of your nervous system. So it's funny, like sometimes you could you could do a really heavy workout and not be sore, but be burnt out. You ever have that happen? Like, I'm not really sore, but I just can't get off this couch, right? Like I'm exhausted, or you can't even like, do your homework or do work on the computer because the nervous system, right, is your brain, right? And so if you're driving all that nervous energy into a PR on the deadlift, squat, bench press, or something like that, then you're kind of like, you're draining the brain. It's brain drain. Where on the other hand, when you're just, say I'm just doing like high repetition tricep press downs, right? It's not really gonna tax my nervous system the same way. It will a little bit, but all the tension's on the muscle, right? So I might not be as fatigued mentally and have that couch lock feel after a bodybuilding workout, but the muscle will feel maybe sore to the touch, and then obviously very pumped like before. So, bro, there you have it, right? I like to do a mixture of the two. Right now in this phase, I'm doing a lot more heavy lifting than high reps, but I still throw in some high rep stuff there. I think after October, once I do this strongman show, I'll probably do a season, right? Maybe like 3 months or so of just straight bodybuilding, right? Like muscle work, like you're talking about right here. I think muscle work is good also for like rehabilitation, right? Because you have to focus and be very strict. You don't have to go very heavy. And you can even go like slow, really slow. So I might do that, and then you can follow Yo at that time, bro. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this show, and I hope my answer to your question was of support to you, bro. Back next time, done.